We are recording. And so, as a business technical assistance provider, I also provide technical assistance to businesses. But in this case, these are individuals who have disabilities, who are interested in starting a business. So I help them to write their business plan and to help them to understand what kind of business fits within their capacity and their range. So I enjoy doing this work. The new LaVilla was a need that I identified working with so many micro enterprises who were, mostly product-based businesses, but also service-based, who were looking for spaces to connect with their clients, to drop off products. And I just felt as if that was not really a safe space to kind of go around town, like dropping off products to individuals, meeting people in coffee shops. Sometimes you needed a private, quiet space. And so this is my passion space. My mission, my mantra is to help people to create economic equity through entrepreneurship, which is the only way that I can see that happening. So thank you all for being here. Would anybody else like to come off for a minute and just introduce yourselves? Or again, feel free to put it in the chat as well, where you're from. And if you have any specific questions that you would like for me to answer today as we go through these slides, feel free to put that in the chat. Again, I want to make sure, because it is the holiday season, that I am respecting your time. All right, so I will go ahead and get started. Sure, there's nothing in the chat. So the new LaVilla Entrepreneurship Center, we are currently in a raise for $1.2+ million to build out a historic landmark in downtown Jacksonville that is located in LaVilla. LaVilla being one of our historic African-American communities. It was a suburb in Jacksonville that primarily about 500 African-American owned businesses were established in this area, going back as far as 1866 when it was founded. Our vision is to bring this back as a mixed use co-working space that will bring back to LaVilla a commercial district. Even if it's within a building, we are also located on a main street in LaVilla, right across from the federal courthouse, to bring back those businesses and to bring back economic development in this space. So currently there is no true mixed use space combining business as well as lodging. The building itself used to be the Will Hotel, owned by Fannie Harvey, an African-American proprietress in 1909. And we're saving that original use by incorporating a lodging unit upstairs for the business owners and tenants that use the building. And so our vision is to transform this historic landmark. We had it historically landmarked in 2021 into a community hub that blends everything that LaVilla was known for: hospitality, culture. It was the central of jazz. It was called the Harlem of the South in Jacksonville. And it was also a lodging unit where a lot of individuals would come and stay. And so with this project, your investment in the new LaVilla is considered an impact investment, is in the impact investment space, because we're revitalizing historic Black-owned property, converting it into an economic driver in historic LaVilla, creating long-term economic mobility, and preserving the cultural legacy of that building and the surrounding area. So our mantra is that we're going to, reinvest and save these properties one building at a time. And we want you to be part of that through community ownership. So what I wanted to do was talk more so about this concept of impact investing, because we've been running the campaign now for 6 months. Yes, 6 months. And we are towards the bottom end of it, and we have yet to raise. And one of the things that I realized coming out of Vestor's conference was that we were on a platform that was people were specifically looking to invest in hotels, and we needed to carve out a separate message away from that. So although the Will Hotel was the original concept of the space, we're broader than that. And so our broader vision is, how do we get people to have community ownership in a space, to bring back the historic value and significant and economic impact in that space, and to create a new model for impact investing as we look at other areas that we can invest in, and how can we bring these investors along with us. And so impact investing has everything to do with having a measurable, positive social and environmental impact in your investment, as well as having a financial return. And that financial return is typically in the equity that you will have in the value of the building once it's built out. And so for the new LaVilla, it is similar to this example here. And so lately we've seen Mackenzie Scott. How many of you, minimize my screen for a second here so I can see. If anybody can put in the chat, understands what Mackenzie Scott Bezos, so maybe I should say her last name, has been doing lately. What is her significant investment been? Her significant investments, what kind of space or theme has she really stuck to with over $7 billion so far in investments to charity? So if anyone would like to speak on that or just put that in the chat, this is one of her, the African American Cultural Heritage Action Fund is one of the organizations that she has invested in, and she's come back around this year. I believe she initially invested in them in 2023, and she came back and invested in them again. And so I had not heard of this fund, but it's part of the National Trust. Still letting people in. So it's part of the National Trust. And this picture is a picture of the front of Madam C.J. Walker's home when she was living in her residence in New York. And Villa Lewaro, Lewaro, was her home. And this is where she would bring her agents, her sales agents, to her home to celebrate and also use it as a training hub for them. And so the picture that you see here is of all of her sales agents standing in front of her home. This is now part of the National Trust because the home did fall into abandonment, so to speak. And so when it was restored by the trust, the process of doing that to restore this historic landmark that has meaning to the community, that was once owned by one of the self-made first women self-made millionaires in the country. Their investment is considered an impact investment because to let this home go into ruin would have meant that there was a significant loss to the value and the story behind it. And so when we think about the new LaVilla, this is what we're doing when we're talking about impact investing. So going from Madam C.J. Walker's home outside of New York, I believe, looking at Jacksonville and the historic footprint of Jacksonville. And so the economic value of social impact investing also has everything to do with whatever the market condition is at the present moment, that there is an opportunity to see a significant return on your investment and significant growth. And so for Jacksonville right now, since we've been here in the last 10 years, we've seen a tremendous amount of change in how Jacksonville is perceived by investors. And so 10 years ago, LaVilla was still very much a place that was starting to see impact and change, but the timeline for that was a very slow churn. Now we have, within 3 years, a $2 billion investment coming up in LaVilla. We also have the new JTA Center, a $57 million investment. We now have the University of Florida graduate campus coming to LaVilla, a $150 million investment. And of course, before that, we had the biggest investment, which was the courthouse. And we are located across from the courthouse, the Duval County Courthouse, which is seeing 1 million people coming in and out of that courthouse every single month. And so Jacksonville is known historically as being the largest city in the US by landmass. It is also the 10th most populated city in the US. The significant change here is that it was designated by the Urban Land Institute as a supernova city. And what that means is that developers, investors, people who are involved in city and municipal government are now looking at Jacksonville as a city that is experiencing rapid economic growth and investment. And we're starting to see that within the last 3 years. So when you're looking at the new LaVilla, located on a main street across from the courthouse, within walking distance of major investments totaling more than $2 billion, you know that there's a great opportunity for the value and investment that you put into this single project, this one project, that the likelihood of you're getting a return is going to be in the positive direction and very rapidly moving in a positive direction. So the demand generators that tell us that is, of course, 6,800 annual average daily traffic vehicles coming in and out of just that one location. And these numbers are from 2022. So of course, now that we have residential units coming up, now that we have the Lift Every Voice and Sing Park developed, again, the change in the transformation of the landscape in LaVilla, founded by Black Union soldiers in 1866, is starting to rapidly change for the better in terms of investments. We are central to downtown landmarks. So Everbank Stadium, we're located 1.6 miles down from the stadium. Again, across from the Duval County Courthouse across the street, but then walking distance from other landmarks that will tell you that foot traffic in terms of the Emerald Trail, connecting all of the downtown communities into one walkable, bikeable path, but also entertainment, arts, and theater are within walking distance from the new LaVilla. And so we project that, yes, Jacksonville, LaVilla overall will be the newest downtown destination in Jacksonville, Florida by 2028. The big picture is that LaVilla is becoming the new exciting place to live, work, recreate, and visit in downtown Jacksonville. New homes and businesses and energy is coming to the area. I mentioned the townhomes that are coming. Pretty much they're almost done. I was over there yesterday when we were, around the holidays, Thanksgiving, when we were doing our tours, and the last stretch of the townhomes are pretty much built out. And so the residential apartments have been completed, and that's another $100 million in investment that is on top of the $2 billion and the university, as well as the parks and all of the other activities that are happening in LaVilla. So we're right in the center of all of this investment, and didn't even mention Uptown LaVilla, which is another $80 million mixed-use development that is coming up behind us on Jefferson Street. And so when you think about impact investing, everything about the new LaVilla hits the mark. A clear commitment to positive impact. It's measurable, it's traceable, people are tracking it. The financial return that takes us from having below market value to market rate value is already happening. And your commitment and investment will drive positive, influential change in the area. So why does this matter? We're not just another building, of course, but we're a cornerstone of LaVilla, and we're a cornerstone of a downtown, a growing downtown area. And so the opportunity is there, it's right, and it's ready for investors who are interested in looking at.
Am I gonna cry?
No, I'm not looking at coming into this project with a long-term vision in mind. So there's, when you think about investing, there's stocks, there's, investing in new businesses, new startups, and there's a rapid scalable return. In this case, we're not looking at scalable in terms of hitting the lottery. We're looking at scalable in terms of replicating this model, this business model, and the long-term sustainability investment in bringing this community back. So this is the new LaVilla today. So you have the colored windows there. That's the new LaVilla. In the center, that building is owned by the city of Jacksonville. We're trying to have conversations about that. On the end, that building has been restored, but the building on the in the back there, the tallest one with the dark brick, is the Masonic Lodge. That building was built in, I believe, around 1909 as well. And at the very end of it on that strip is what used to be the Richmond Hotel. So when Jacksonville was segregated, that used to be one of the main street hotels as well, where entertainers, the Harlem Renaissance artists and James Weldon Johnson and individuals, Ma Rainey, all of those people used to come live and recreate in LaVilla. And so that's part of the rich heritage, of course, as well. And that one sits vacant. It was just acquired again, and development on that strip should be hitting around 2028 as well. So examples of impact investments, of course, we see a lot of affordable housing developments. Historic preservation has to be key, revitalization has to be key, community education, entrepreneurship, business ownership, bringing back commerce and commercial activity to the space is important. And that piece, renewable energy and green infrastructure. Our contractor is a certified LEED contractor, so we thought that it should be important to us, and it is important to us, that we bring back the space with using sustainable materials and sustainability in mind, while also preserving the fact that it is a historic landmark, and we want to preserve the look and special designs of it as is. And so we're looking for individuals that this resonates with, and who want to go on this journey with us, not only in this city, but as we look at other cities that we're having conversations with, such as Foley, Oklahoma, and in Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky, who has similar activities going on as well. So how do we measure the impact? I mentioned that it's measured through job creation. We will create jobs in LaVilla. We intend on this, because it's an entrepreneurship center, to be a place where we do launch businesses. We celebrate the launching of businesses, and we nurture those businesses. So as a business advisor and coach, when I gave you all my why earlier on, of course, this is in alignment with everything that I enjoy and everything that I do working with entrepreneurs every day. And so the restoration piece, again, it is historically landmarked, and the foot traffic and the economic activity will fold into this nicely. Okay. For you, does this align with your personal and institutional values? Do you believe that supporting underserved communities is of importance to you, and economic inclusion? Do you believe that you want to reinvest in these underserved markets and communities and help to bring them back at a local level? And do you feel that, that the long-term stability of these neighborhoods have to be backed up with purpose and intention to make sure that we don't lose the value and the cultural aspects of these markets? When you think about the financial returns, you know, when you're talking about real estate, the volatility is less because you have the real estate asset there in a growing market. And we talked about those demand drivers. Um, we are a mission-driven project so that there is and will be broad community support behind us as we build out this project. And then also the opportunity for tax incentives will be there as well. Any questions so far? Can't see you all. Feel free to just put any questions in the chat or come off your mic. And again, thank you all so much for joining me tonight during the holiday season. I really appreciate it. And so this image is a rendering of the future of the development. So on the left-hand upper corner is what we envision to be the new LaVilla, what the look will be like when it's fully built out. What you see on the left-hand wall, the mural there, we are pursuing permission to put an image of Buffalo soldiers there. So to give honor and pay respect to the founders of LaVilla. LaVilla was founded by 35 Buffalo soldiers immediately after the Civil War. They were primarily from Beaufort, North Carolina, I believe. Don't hold me to that, but North Carolina, I believe. And they came down to set up a fort there. There's a marker two blocks walking distance behind the LaVilla for Fort Hatch. So if you look up Fort Hatch, it's Fort and then HATCH. It's right behind us. The land is still undeveloped. So we're hoping that it will stay that way and just become an open green space, but it's also across from Lift Every Voice and Sing park as well. And that park is a marker for the home of James Weldon Johnson, who was born in LaVilla. And so we're looking, yes, please.
I have a question.
So
yes. This rendition, with the 5 windows at the top, that was the building that we saw earlier that had like the colored windows.
Yes.
This building right here. Okay. And is that the building that I came in a little bit late? So is that what the fund is going to restore, or is this investment for this building in particular?
Is to restore it. So we already own the building, so we own it fully. And so this is to help restore it. So the raise is 1.2 million to restore it fully to its full usability. And then we will have a gap of about 500,000 for build out, but we're looking for the tenant, the anchor tenant and the retail tenants to finish the build out. So the first raise is to just finish the building and get the doors open.
Okay. And is that investment through the action fund, or is that directly for this?
That's directly for this. So the action fund example was an example of how they restored Madam C.J. Walker's mansion.
Oh, okay. I get it. Just parallel. Okay, I get it.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah, that was an example of an impact investment. Because yeah, it was again in decline, abandoned, vacant, and so they were able to raise the funds to bring that project back. And so the example here in LaVilla is we are looking for impact investors to bring this building back, one building at a time. And so the rendering, yes.
Mm-hmm. So this building in particular is LaVilla. So that building is new LaVilla. And then is there another building? Is the building beside it something else, or is that building also owned by you?
Correct. So we don't own that one yet because the city isn't letting it go yet. So for now, this project is strictly for 318 North Broad Street, which is the building that you see there that we're naming the new LaVilla as a representation of bringing this community back and as the central commercial district that it used to be, all under this roof.
Okay, interesting.
Does that help?
That helps a lot. Thank you. And
You're welcome.
a little forward I don't know if this is in your presentation or not, or maybe I need to contact you out off at another time. What does the tax incentives look like for this type of project?
So yeah, so it's, I believe I kept that slide in. So we are in a hub zone, historically underutilized business zone. We're in an enterprise zone. We're not in an opportunity zone. And we are eligible for new market tax credits. But I know those credits are very, it depends on the bank that you work with. If you work with a bank or a fund, but those are the incentives for the area. So um, those are the main ones, and then we can, also look into anything else that may be available depending on your situation.
Do you already have like a breakdown for any tax incentives for X amount of investment? This is the type of um, incentive that you would be eligible for. Do you already have that broken down?
We don't, because we wanted it to base that on each individual, because we have to be careful about the Securities and Exchange Commission and what numbers we put out there, because they may not be applicable to everyone. But at the end of the call, you can schedule a one-on-one, and then we can go over
Okay,
what it could look like for you.
appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Susan. Is it Susan? Am I looking at the right one?
Yeah, yes, it is, Susan.
Okay, thank you, Susan. Where are you calling from?
Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Right in the state. Okay, so because you're local, then yeah, I can probably tell you. Okay, so thank you though.
Yeah,
And
you're
so the
welcome.
rendering at the bottom, that's Broad Street. And so Broad Street is a one-way street as it is depicted here. Because they're building out the Heritage Trail, there may be some small changes. They're making green spaces. So, the markers may be green and the lines may not be the same, but it will be part of the Heritage Trail. The Heritage Trail will wrap around the back side of the building and come back up by the Masonic Lodge. And so we're at the very center again of the walking traffic, foot traffic, vehicle traffic that's coming to the area. On the right-hand side is the courthouse. And you can see the front side of the courthouse in proximity to where the new LaVilla is in the bottom left-hand picture. Now, the other amazing thing about our location is the green space that you see there in front of the courthouse. They're transforming that into a 3-acre urban park. So again, there will be a park. The theme of the park is justice. And so there'll be ribbon designs and nice art and architecture in this park when it's built out as well. So many great things happening in this area that's long overdue. So the breakout of the new LaVilla is here. So it is 6,300 square feet, mixed use. We will have a retail coffee shop. So we are currently looking for retail tenant, the gift shop tenant, and then the anchor tenant for upstairs. Because we're located from the courthouse, we would love for that to be a small boutique law firm or an academic institution. We've put out feelers to academic institutions so far who have a law or legal studies division. The co-working space itself will be downstairs in the rear. That's approximately 2,600 square feet of private and shared offices. And then event reception is upstairs to cater to boutique weddings coming in from the courthouse. I was there when we were there again on one of our tours. I saw a couple in a white gown walking out of the courthouse. So just the vision keeps validating itself. And of course, we have a conference room, and the residential unit is in the upstairs back to pay homage to the Will Hotel. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath unit for members. And so as we've built out the scope of the project, with the residential unit, we're finding that we have to go back and look at code restrictions. And so what we may see here in the second rendition is that the 2-bedroom, 2-bath may be reduced or it could potentially be eliminated based on fire code requirements that may take it beyond the financial scope that we had initially planned. But everything else will remain intact. And so we're waiting, we're in kind of hover mode, waiting to see what the numbers look like when we finish this out. Okay. So our business model and market strategy in terms of revenue generation, investors will have co-ownership and equity in the building itself. The operation on the operations side, we will generate revenue from the vendors, the co-working memberships, the residential units, and the wedding and event spaces. So when we look at the scenarios, because we can't guarantee what the appraisal will be at the end of the project, and because we have to be careful with the Security and Exchange Commission regulations, all we can offer is just an illustration of what a potential scenario would be based on a valuation of 1.5 million is what we're looking at. And again, this is for illustration purposes only. We cannot guarantee or commit to any numbers. But if we were to look at this at a valuation of 1.5, the investment levels through Vestor, and Vestor is our platform that we're using for the raise, is $10,000, 15, 25, and 50, 4 levels of investment. The valuation discount is 20%. The ownership percentage you would gain, because we're looking at a refinance exit instead of a sale exit, would be approximately 1% to 4.1% based on your investment. You keep that ownership percentage in the property while also getting the return of 25% back from your initial investment. And so the option is when we finish the build out, refinance it based on its new value, you can go ahead and take the 25% return at that point, or you can let it stay in and then just draw from the equity, draw from the operations of it, that 25% whenever you're ready, and you will still retain the percentage of ownership. So you still retain your equity, but you also will get the 25% return. If you have more detailed questions on that, again, we can also have a one-on-one meeting just to go through it and break it down in even more detail. On Vestor's site, there are also other questions there that we've had. As we get new questions, we upload the questions to the platform that you can go through as well. So those are the illustration questions on the financial return. And that is it. Any questions for me? Again, thank you all so much for being here and showing your interest. Again, this is an opportunity for an impact investment opportunity to have equity and ownership in the space. We want it to be a community-owned property, and we want this to be our model moving forward as we look at other spaces. Any questions?
Dr. V, can you hear me?
Just a little. Can you speak a little louder?
I might have to take out my ear.
I can't. Can you go ahead and, Sis Deborah, can you put your question in the chat maybe?
Yeah, Deborah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. Who is the state representative for this district?
The state representative.
Yeah, when you spoke of the new market credits, they come out of the state, right?
It is no. So no.
Where are your new market credits coming from?
And I don't want to misspeak, but my understanding is that's mostly federal, but it depends on the bank that you go through. So for example, we're applying to one of the local CDFIs here for new market tax credits.
Okay.
Yeah, and let me double confirm that, because I never want to give that information out.
The reason I ask is because I thought maybe if you could contact that representative, they may be able to help with that. But if it's not state, then that's a totally different ballgame.
Yeah, it depends on the bank and the structure of that bank, not the project, the bank itself and what their limitations are, because not all of them offer it. So you have to look up what banks do. And we're looking at a local CDFI because we understand that one has it when some others don't. So just again, it depends. So that's why it's based on each person's location, the banking agreement with the federal, the state level, etc. But it's Tracy Davis. I knew I would remember it. But I will get clarification on that. So any other questions? I'm trying to minimize my screen here. Okay. Awesome. Okay. And so the next step for us is, well, I'm trying to minimize this, but it won't let me. The next step for us is, we've extended the campaign through January 31st. But in the meantime, we're moving forward with expanding our conversation. So we have an upcoming webinar with the Incremental Development Alliance, which is, I'm a member of that organization. And so a lot of impact investing and community investment work. They are a great organization that facilitates these kind of these kind of investors, so impact investors like myself, and who provide education and training for us as well. So our next webinar is going to be a partnership with Boley, Oklahoma, which is a historic Black town in Oklahoma, and one of the district suburbs in Lexington, Kentucky. Their program is called Black Yarn, and their position is to talk about the redlining that happened in that district. And so we're going to come together and have a conversation about the work that we're all doing and how impact investing can really help us to become more unified and in alignment with taking this to a national level and looking at what that could look like as a platform. And the QR code here is the website. And here's the link for the deal if you'd like to look at the deal on Vestor. Yes, ma'am. Miss Susan?
I have a question. When you say we already own the building, who is we?
The new LaVilla. So myself, yeah. So myself and my husband.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now this is an independent, private, self-funded project.
So proud. I'm so honored. I'm so proud of you guys. I'm honored to be here in your presence. That's amazing.
Oh, thank you so much, Susan. I really, I'm so happy that people are interested and at least learning about how we can be more impactful as a group and as a community. So thank you for being here. And again, I know it's the holidays, so I appreciate you even more for showing up just to hear how this could work. Even if you're not ready, just telling other people about this project and the long-term vision that we have to make it bigger than just us, that it's a community effort and there's an opportunity to have ownership with us, because we're not going to live forever. We want this to be something that can be passed down to multiple people, multiple generations.
You want to be applauded for that because that is a
Excellent.
totally new concept.
I'm sorry, I can't hear. Deborah, did you say something?
Bring that type of concept to the area is great, because we need something to get us off of dead center here in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
we just
a lot of
trying to do
yeah.
something the same old way, and this is revolutionary. It really is. So I think you should be commended for taking that step.
Thank you
Absolutely.
so much. I really appreciate that. And so, yeah, if you all have any questions at all, please go to the Facebook page, LinkedIn page, like us, follow us, spread the word. We will have 2 more webinars next Monday and then the 29th. So if everyone's busy, that's okay. I'll be here because that is our last official day until we get the extension approved. So we have to go through the Securities and Exchange Commission for everything. The wonderful thing about crowdfunding is that before 2012, before this is part of the Jobs Act, before 2012, small investors could not participate in, crowdfunding campaigns like this. And so the Jobs Act really opened this up as a way for small businesses to be able to get capital and access to funding. And so now the doors are open for everyone to participate in these larger investment opportunities. And that's what we also want to get the word out about that. Because you can be a non-accredited investor now. Before it was only accredited investors who had like 200,000 in income, $1 million in assets, something to that effect. Now you don't have to meet that requirement. So this is, again, a great opportunity for us to start to reinvest in our own communities.
Dr. V,
Thank
one
you.
last question, if I may.
Yes, ma'am.
There are a group of young people who are working with redlining and trying to do some things. Have any of them been to these webinars that you know of, could tell, or how is that going? Because we do have a couple of young groups that are forming that, I just think they need to hear this. And I come on here for that reason, to just see who's on here and to try and make sure that we take that message back, because I think it's $10,000 the
The
minimum
minimum.
that you need to go.
Minimum
Yeah,
investment.
I mean, and we just need to really encourage people to try and meet that mark or take that money
Yeah.
from some of their funds and do this investing. So thank you so much.
Yeah, look at your 401ks, those life insurance, cash value in your policies, equity in your current primary real estate. So there's so many ways that you can find that money. It's lying around there. So may as well put it to use and diversify. So thank you for that. But yes, to have them come on if they can, and I'd love to educate them about that. The earlier they start to understand impact investing and all of the opportunities that have opened up because of crowdfunding, the more prepared they'll be as they start to build wealth. Any other questions? Thank you all so much. I really appreciate you all. I will see you all again. Please join me next Monday at 7 p.m. or send me an email or shout out or tag us. And we just want you to get the word out about this project and the work that we're doing. Thank you, Matsy. And any takeaways, by all means, put them in the chat as well. I'll hang out until the last person drops. Thank you. Is
you.
that
Have a good holiday.
Thank you, Susan, for your questions. Oh, my one-on-one link. If you received the newsletter today, my one-on-one link is there. Oh, let me pull it up real quick. I'm sorry, I forgot to do that.
Sir, my name is Atupele.
Atupele.
I'm always trying to find something to invest or just figure my life out at this time, so I'm always a curious being, maybe just to see what, who knows.
We're kindred spirits. I am a curious being as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
And you will get added to the newsletter.
Okay.
The next one should come out on Saturday. So my one-on-one link will be in that newsletter as well. It's Dr. V's The New LaVilla.
Okay.
Thank you. But I'm just going to put it in the chat just in case someone needs it. Oh, yep, Susan, I'm looking for it right now. For the webinars. See. One-on-one with Dr. B. Here we go. Oh, it's giving me my own link. Okay, here you go. One-on-one information session. Sorry, it's taking me a minute, but here you are. There we go. And I may not have canceled out the ones for next week because I'm technically on vacation. So the week of the 27th, 28th, I'll be back for that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Hi, Trinette. I see you just joined us. Welcome. Do you have any questions for me? Thank you, Susan. You're welcome. Trinette, do you have any questions for me? Hi, how are you? Does anyone else have questions? Dominique, Sharif? No questions for me right now? So this was recorded, Trinette. So I will upload it to our YouTube channel, which is YouTube.com/the new LaVilla. And I will give you the recording. So I will go ahead
Yes.
and turn it
Hello.
off now, as a matter of fact.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Just had a quick question. What's the, I guess, holding